We're gonna be talking about the NBA, and this playoffs is gonna be insane. The West is so crazy right now, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the East too, but mostly the Western Conference because all of the 10 teams in the play-in race right now, and I believe they'll all make the play-in. I don't think any other teams will come out of nowhere. Houston is probably the only that has a little chance, but I believe maybe the Jazz, but like these 10 are probably the teams that we're gonna see in the play-in and playoffs, and all 10 can make the conference finals. So this is about to be like the 2011 or whatever Wild West is back. So first we're gonna be talking about each team and how they would do in the playoffs, what I think they could do. Yeah, Timberwolves are the first seed. Right now they're doing really good. They have Anthony Edwards doing really good, Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert doing really good on the defensive end. Number one defense in the league still. I feel like they could do really good. Rudy Gobert has been really good on defense, but the Jazz in previous years have not had good wing defenders to help him. But this year they do with Jalen McDaniels. Mike Conley is a pretty good player that gels with Rudy Gobert. Anthony Edwards is not a bad defender, and their bench depth is also pretty good with Naz Reid and Kyle Anderson and more. They just got Monte Morris, who is a really good backup point guard. So they will probably do well. I could see them from the range of getting upset in the first round if Rudy and Cat fall off again in the playoffs. Last year, 2 years ago, the Timberwolves made the playoffs, and they were actually looking like they could have won the Grizzlies, but then Karl-Anthony Towns was not good at all. Anthony Edwards is the one that's good in the playoffs, and Rudy Gobert in previous playoffs was exposed defensively, but that was with the Jazz with no really good perimeter defenders. Now they do, so maybe he won't get exposed, but Cat might be the big issue for them in the playoffs. Next, we have the Thunder, who, I believe they could win the championship as well. Maybe next year. I believe they can make the conference finals this year. Maybe even the finals if they're lucky, but I don't think they'll win the championship. Timberwolves the same. Thunder, they're really young, so they got a lot of time to improve, but right now they're going really good. I feel like they're another maybe make another Grizzlies type run where they win the first round, maybe lose the second round, something like that, versus the Grizzlies were the second seed, but they weren't as experienced. Now the Thunder have Shea, who played in 2 playoff series, I believe, and the rest of them haven't really played on much. Lu Dort was there too, but they got Chet, Josh Giddey, more. Their team is really good, really well coached, and they have everything. Just added Bismack Biyombo and Gordon Hayward for some veteran experience that could help them. Gordon Hayward, reached some deep playoffs, and Bismack is a good serviceable backup center that they really needed. But this Thunder team is really scary as well. With their defense is good and their offense. Shea, being a really good superstar. I believe he can be a playoff riser too. But we have to see. They haven't been proven yet, or they haven't been proven to be bad or good in the playoffs yet. Clippers next. Now this is the year for the Clippers. I believe this can be a championship team. The previous 2 I said earlier, I believe can be finals teams, but I don't think they will be able to win like the Celtics or the Bucks, or even like the Nuggets, Clippers, or some more experienced teams, maybe. But they have the talent to definitely go to the finals. Just see if their players can rise. But the Clippers could hopefully do well, not get injured. Hopefully not get injured, because only one time they have not get injured, but that was in like a weird circumstance. But they lost, so the kind of like bad thing about the Clippers is that they have James Harden who is a playoff choker usually, as well as Paul George is sometimes, he's really inconsistent. He could be a playoff choker or a playoff riser. But Kawhi Leonard is what is the Clippers' hope because he has been really good in the playoffs almost every year, basically. And the Clippers have depth. They just really need to have a good center core. Zubats and Plumlee have been alright, but not as good as they should be. But yeah, Clippers, this could be the year because Harden a third option, Westbrook a fourth option when he was the first option last playoffs and led the Suns to some close battles. So yeah, Nuggets next. Nuggets defending championship. They could repeat again. Jokic is insane. Probably going to win MVP again. And Jamal Murray is a playoff riser. As we know, one of the best players in the playoffs right now. So they also added, some decent veterans. And I mean, they lost Bruce Brown, but I feel like they can still win the championship. Then we got Pelicans, which is kind of interesting. They're kind of like the Clippers too. They always get injured before they make the playoffs. Like last year, I believe Zion was out the whole year when they were like the number 1 seed last year. But the Pelicans are quietly being a really good team right now. I believe they can make the conference finals. I don't know about finals yet. I don't think Zion has ever played in an NBA play-in or playoff game. So we'll have to see how he goes in the playoffs for the first time. And Brandon Ingram is pretty decent. And this core was really good in the playoffs versus the Suns 2022. That was a really, really good series right there. Underrated series. So hopefully they could stay healthy. They could be a really deadly team. Next, we got the Dallas Mavericks, who have gone on a 7-game winning streak, adding PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford. Look amazing right now. And they could go to the conference finals also. All these teams can go to the conference finals and finals. They just got to get some luck. And Luka is a top 5 player in the league. Really helped them. And Kyrie, they have both gelled really well. PJ Washington also gelled really well with them too. And the addition of Daniel Gafford really helps them a lot. They have 2 really good centers now. And this team could be deadly in the playoffs. Luka is a playoff riser also. And 2 years ago, he made the conference finals with Jalen Brunson and the rest of the players. But this team is more talented than that. So it's going to be scary. This playoffs is insane. Suns. Phoenix Suns is next. They are also starting to head up. 7-3 in their last 10 games. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal is still an insane trio. And, KD and Book has made the finals in 2021, but this team is better than that team, I believe. And this is going to be insane if the Suns make the play-in. They could upset the first or second seed, and because of their experience. Booker has experience now, although he sometimes has been a playoff choker in elimination games. KD has a lot of experience. Bradley Beal has some experience, so yeah, and they got a good group of veterans around them. Kings is next. Kings were a surprise team last season, but this season they have been doing good as well. I think they could make the conference finals if De'Aaron Fox was a playoff riser last year. Almost beat Stephen Curry in 7, and that was one of the best playoff series in the century. That was a really good playoff series, but I feel like the only worry is Domantas Sabonis last year was not really that good in the playoffs. Kind of got clamped by Warriors. So yeah. But the next 2 teams, Lakers and Warriors, the 2 teams that made the semifinals last year, and one of them that made the conference finals, are now in the play-in race. Really crazy. And the race to get eliminated. They're 3 games back, so they have to do a really big winning streak to make it up to like the 7th or 8th seed. But the Lakers right now are doing pretty well. 6-4 in their last 10. Got some pretty good guys. LeBron, AD. They have been proven championship winners just 4 years ago. And this team is still pretty good. Austin Reeves, Rui, they got some pretty decent depth. They could maybe make another run like last year from the play-in. And then finally the Warriors. They have been going insane in the past 10 games, 8-2. And Stephen Curry, them are back. Klay Thompson to the bench was a pretty good move. They just have a lot of depth too, and this is looking insane right now. The Warriors and the Lakers could upset the first or second seed. Also, this is just such an insane playoff teams. I feel like this is probably top 3 most stacked West in history of the NBA. Let's talk about the East a little bit. I'm not going to be talking about them as much as the West. We got the Celtics, Cavs, Bucks, Knicks, 76ers, Pacers, Magic, Heat, Bulls, Hawks. Not going to really talk about the Bulls and Hawks. They're not going to really have a chance to even probably make it past the first round. Celtics look like the clear championship team in the NBA and a clear team to get out the East. But there is also some underrated teams that were, we didn't expect to be this good as the Cavs and the Knicks. The Cavs are going really good. I know they probably will do good this year because Donovan Mitchell was a playoff riser until last season where he kind of, didn't do as good. But he, as a rookie, beat the Westbrook and OKC Thunder. Paul George, too. And Bucks, they're kind of looking shaky now, a little. Doc Rivers as the head coach, but Giannis and Dame is the best duo in the league still. And it's really hard to stop them. But I believe the Celtics or the Cavs could possibly be and the Knicks with Jalen Brunson, they added so much depth in the trade deadline. They have insane depth right now. And this team could be primed for another conference finals run. Philly, if they get Joel Embiid, also looks kind of deadly. Right now, without Joel, they're kind of looking mid. 3-7, they're past 10. But with Joel, who is probably going to come back before the playoffs, still might be pretty deadly. Hopefully, he's healthy, though. Pacers and Magic and Heat, more of the wild cards. Pacers do look like a really good team that would be really hard to beat because of their offense, but their defense is pretty bad. Magic, Paolo Banchero has been doing really good, but I think they're too inexperienced. And finally, the Heat, the last year's finals team, is an A seed again for now. I don't know, man. Don't know what to expect from them. Still a team that can make the finals. But yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. We're out.